must realize you are doomed.
Welcome, everybody. This is the show we like to call Extremely Late Reviews. And today we're reviewing the 2002 Spider-Man starring Tobey Maguire. And we're going to see, hey, we rewatched it and we're going to see if it still holds up today and what we think about it. Before we get into what we think about it nowadays, first question is going to be, when you hear Spider-Man, the 2002 edition, Mitch, what automatically comes up into your mind when you hear that?
Whenever I rewatched it, I was thinking in my head too how I remember the first time this movie came out, it was like a game changer, like theater wise, kind of like the way Avatar was. Like it was a must watch. So this is a pretty iconic film in my eyes, like especially when it comes to like superhero movies. This was like one of the biggest building blocks that's now boosted, and there's comic book movies all around coming out all around the world and everything. So I felt like this was like one of the first big stepping stones for them.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I know exactly what you're talking about. When I hear this, there's quite a few things that pop into my mind as soon as I hear this. And the first thing is, and they say the hero could save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. That's exactly what I think of. That soundtrack, man. That song by
Thinking
Nickelback.
Nickelback.
Straight up. I'm not gonna even
Yeah.
lie. There's that I hear, and there's also I think of it's kind of piggybacking what you're saying. Is so crazy because um so I was tell my little age, I guess I was a young adult when this came out, and I was, late teenager when this came out, and I just
Yeah.
remember uh like people saying, "Oh, I want to go see this Spider-Man," and this is where you really found out. Like back then, it wasn't cool to be like, I don't know how you want to say, like a nerd into comic books, but we
Yeah.
were like, people were actually like, "Oh man, I love Spider-Man." Like these grown dudes saying, "I want to go see Spider-Man." I'm like, "You do?" You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like that was never the cool thing to say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything was about action, blood, and everything. But no, I didn't know how much of a following Spider-Man had until they were previewing this movie, saying it's coming out. Everybody was so excited to go see it. It was so crazy. It was really crazy when this came out.
Yeah.
And on a little note too, and I know there was movies that came out before this during that time, but it was about 8 months after 9/11 happened. And I remember, correct me if I'm wrong out there, because I could be wrong, but I just kind of remember there was a big thing too where there was a scene that was deleted, I believe, that had Spider-Man on the World Trade Center, or had it in the background, but they deleted it
Mm.
after, all that stuff
Yeah,
that
after all this
happened
happened.
9/11. And I think it was just a great movie as far as everybody galvanized and kind of left reality a little bit,
Yeah.
what had happened, even though it was 8 months removed from the devastating day. I think everybody was all escaping it just for the 2 hours for this movie, just to, live somewhere else, be in a different place. But that's
Yeah.
exactly what came up into my mind when I hear Spider-Man 2002.
It's funny you brought up the whole 9/11 thing because there's a certain scene in the movie that made me think, wait a minute, was this like, around the time 9/11 happened? Was it before? Was it after?
Hmm.
Because it was a scene where they were having that festival. I believe it was in Times Square,
Yeah.
and you see the Green Goblin coming around skyscrapers, and you see the smoke trailing and everything. And that scene alone was like, wait a minute, I wonder if because that automatically reminded me of 9/11.
Right.
And that's why I was thinking of the same thing. So I'm glad you actually brought that up because that was actually something I was gonna look up.
Yeah, for sure. So let's kind of like dive into it. I mean, it's 2002 Spider-Man. We're basically kind of comparing it to today and how we saw it back when we first saw it, and we watched it. I think it was a couple of days ago. Me and you both saw it for this review. So, Tobey Maguire had never heard of him. I ain't gonna lie. Before he came out to do this role.
Yeah.
You know, that's just me. I never heard of him. And then who played MJ was Kristen Dunst. The only movies I remember before she started this uh was that she played in Bring It On, that cheerleading
Oh yeah, yeah,
movie, and
yeah.
also remember being that creepy little girl on Interview with a Vampire. Don't
Oh
ask me
yeah,
how I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
that. I just
yeah,
remember that she was that creepy little girl.
yeah,
And then I remember when they announced William Dafoe. I'm like, this old dude's playing Green Goblin. This is me. This is the
yeah,
19-year-old me. So and I'm like, okay. I really didn't know William Dafoe who he was except for the movie Platoon. And then
yeah.
and right before I went to go see it, I kind of, you know, say, well, you know, William Dafoe. I think I saw it on VHS. Was a movie he was in called Speed 2. Oh my God! If you could pull that picture up, it looks so freaking freaky. And I'm like, okay, I could see him being the Green Goblin after that picture of how
Yeah.
he looked in Speed 2. But anyways, um, so the key points in this, you know, it it I liked it, you know, because now that I look at it, it told you the quick. How'd you think of the quick origin story of how he became Spider-Man? Because it gave you quickly how he became Spider-Man, got bitten by the spider. Did you like
Yeah,
all that?
yeah, it happened
How
pretty
that
quick.
aspect? It was pretty
Yeah,
quick, but it explained a lot. Did you
yeah, it
like how
explained
they
a
did that?
lot. Yeah, I actually do, and I'm glad that they got to it quickly. Like it was, I feel like it was within the first like 20 minutes of the movie that it happened to him. I actually liked it how it was a lot of montages in this movie, like
Hmm.
of how he learned so quickly how to fight, how to use his web and everything. But I actually did enjoy the origin part of it.
Yeah, I did too because it was nice and quick. It wasn't dragged out or anything. It happened right away. Um, I also forgot to say it meant, you know, quickly too. There was his BFF Harry, the supposedly BFF Harry, who was played
Mm,
by James Franco.
yeah, James Franco.
And but you know what else too? What they quickly did, and I thought was pretty good, was they also had the origin of the Green Goblin.
Hmm.
I mean, there was quickly a quick origin story, and then how, you know, Norman Osborn became the Green Goblin, and how did you like his story arc as far as, you know, the Green, how Norman Osborn turning into Green Goblin?
I loved it a lot, and I feel like I wouldn't have loved it as much if it was a different actor. I feel like William Dafoe like stole the show for this whole movie. I felt like
Yes,
he did the best performance out of everybody. And yeah, I just couldn't imagine anyone else being Green Goblin. So I loved how they showed how he really was before he turned into the Green Goblin and what made him turn.
right.
Like all the backstabbing that happened to him,
Hmm.
trying to take away his company, and yeah, so I love the whole buildup of him.
Yeah, you're to piggyback on what you just said, man. Green Goblin, William Dafoe played him pretty damn good. The voice
Yeah, the
and the facial
voice.
expressions that he was doing, the
Yeah.
mannerisms was just like, it was creepy and it felt good. You know,
Hmm.
you know, he definitely played a great Green Goblin, which I didn't think he was going to in the beginning. Then I saw that picture and everything. I was like, he might be pretty good because he looks pretty creepy. Just the way
Yeah.
his voice comes out and everything. So I like that as well. Um, so we also, the infamous J.K. Simmons played Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you? I mean, everybody agrees. I'm pretty sure everybody agrees that he's just perfect for that role.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, a lot of people say, there's like perfect roles for people, but this legit is a perfect role for J.K. Simmons because he's just, I mean, even in the Spider-Mans now, they have him as the same character. He did a fantastic job playing Jonah Jameson.
Mhm. Well, let's go back to actual Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire. What did you think about him playing Spider-Man?
I felt like I felt like he did good. I mean, I've never seen a movie that's created more memes than his performance as Spider-Man.
Right.
You know, acting wise, it's not like fantastic. Uh, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Willem Dafoe, like I said, carried this movie. If because you had like a lot of new people being thrown into the big spotlight. Tobey Maguire, like you said, he wasn't known for much before this.
Right.
Roles here and there. And same thing for Kirsten Dunst. Like this is like the first time, big time, like spotlight being on them, and luckily they had someone like Willem Dafoe to carry it. Because acting wise, especially Kirsten Dunst, I didn't think she did that great of a job. And Toby, he was good. Nothing
Yeah.
like unforgettable.
Yeah, it wasn't unforgettable, but I must say, because we have to compare it to the other Spider-Mans. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just the way it is. I would say he's definitely the best Peter Parker he played.
Hmm.
Definitely the best Peter Parker, the nerdy stuff
Yeah,
and
nerdy.
just
Yeah.
the way he was talking and carrying himself and everything. And I mean, as far as Spider-Man, he didn't do too bad. But as far as Peter Parker, playing Peter Parker, I think he was definitely the best Peter Parker
Yeah.
for that role. And I totally agree with you by Kristen Dunst. And, not to knock on her, I'm really not. It's just, uh, it is what it is. But, it's just a 2002 movie coming out. They really didn't have a lot of stuff under the belts, so this was kind of like their breakthrough movie for Toby and Kristen, I think.
Yeah.
Um, so what did you think? I mean, we'll start with the good. What good did you like out of this movie?
The good were definitely uh the graphics. I felt like their suits looked
Mm,
awesome. Green Goblin's costume. Like I
right.
watched it today and I was like, what a character, what a villain to kick it off with. It wasn't an easy one. It wasn't an easy
No.
one. The way they did the glider, his whole costume, his helmet. I loved how they did everything with Green Goblin. And the Spider-Man suit, when he finally put it together and had the legit Spider-Man suit, I loved it. And like I said, I like like him having like starting with the blueprints of the Spider-Man suit. Like when he first got into it and he did the wrestling match with Macho Man Randy Savage, and he
Bonesaw.
just said, yeah, Bonesaw, and he just had like that ghetto ass like Spider-Man suit. To come from that to what he had, when he perfected it, I
Mhm.
actually really enjoyed the suits. I thought the people that did the costumes did a fantastic job. Um, and yeah, and just the graphics. I mean, for that time, it was pretty big. I mean,
Yeah.
the things they did. So
The
I
action
felt like,
scenes
yeah,
too
the action scenes
between him.
were great.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
there are some parts where so those are the big pros for me, were the graphics, Willem Dafoe's acting, the costumes. But the low points would be some of the like little pieces in the movie that didn't really make any sense. Like whenever that building was on fire. Uh,
Oh, where
yeah,
he lured Spider-Man in.
yeah. But before
Yeah,
that, the mom comes crying, "Save my baby!" First of all, what is a mother doing, leaving a newborn baby in a
it's
top
true,
floor
man. It's not
apartment?
funny, but it's true. Yeah,
But it's
yeah,
like those little parts. It's like
yeah,
I know
definitely.
they had to make him like seem like be a superhero, but that
Hmm.
right there is just like that is pretty bad writing. Like I don't understand why you would even
Yeah,
add that. And
and
then
there was barely anything that happened when he was in the building. They did like a
yeah,
funky little 10-second fight scene, and then
very quick, and then he
there's
bails.
he bails.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, the
Eh,
baby's still in there, dude. you know?
so yeah, so that scene stuck in my head as being like, what? And another
Yeah,
scene was whenever he attacked Aunt May. And she's like, deliver us. And he's like, finish it
that's my
from
favorite scene.
evil.
That was my
It's like,
funniest
oh my
scene.
God.
Yeah, exactly what you say.
Who gets attacked and is still mid prayer?
He's a finisher, goddammit!
And now,
Oh,
and that was
oh
it.
my god! And then she was all stir crazy in the hospital.
Yeah, those yellow
Oh,
eyes.
it's like he's probably smoking too much. That's why
Yeah.
he's got those yellow eyes. Anyways, but yeah, uh, you know the the one that what couple thing one thing that didn't work for me, and I agree with you about the action. It was pretty good. But the one thing that didn't work for me, and here I go, I'm saying you got to compare it to the other Spider-Mans.
Hmm.
And one thing that didn't definitely work for me was the chemistry between Kristen Dunst and Tobey Maguire.
Yeah,
That chemistry sucked. I mean, especially when you're looking at Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, they were
yeah,
pretty good.
they did a great
You also
job.
look at Zendaya and Tom Holland, pretty good.
Yeah,
They got good chemistry. But you
yeah,
could tell, man, that the chemistry just wasn't there at
yeah.
all for me. When those two were interacting or anything, it was kind of weird. I mean, it was, yeah,
Even at the end, the very end, whenever she kisses him and confesses
yeah,
that
it
she loves
just,
him, it just
hmm
didn't feel like natural. It didn't feel real.
exactly.
And then after she kissed him, like after he's like, I just see us as friends, and she's like, "Is that all you see us as, Peter?" And he walks away, and then she realizes, like, wait a minute, I recognize that kiss. And then
Oh my
it
god.
was just like, first of all, the kiss was upside down. You don't remember
Yeah,
it.
it was upside down. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, I totally agree with that. Like the chemistry between them, it didn't feel real.
Yeah, definitely. But you know what I really, really liked about this? My favorite high points about this is the whole uh losing Uncle Ben situation. His death scene,
Hold on,
his
hold on.
that's okay, there's noise back there. Where did I leave off?
I missed it.
Huh?
I forgot where you left off.
You want
Dang
to just
it.
talk about the Uncle Ben thing?
Yeah.
Remember, I told you it was okay. So the one good thing about it, I really liked about this, my favorite part was the whole Uncle Ben situation. You know, the losing of Uncle Ben,
Yeah.
how that came to play. You know, the great line, with great power comes great responsibility. You
Yeah.
know, and then you see how you got Peter. You know, he got shafted out of his money when he went against Bonesaw. He
Yeah.
got shafted out of his money. He only got like $100 out of his, I think it was 3 grand.
3,000. Yeah.
Yeah. And the guy told him, "Oh, I don't see how that's my problem." And then you see he let that robber go,
Yeah.
and he told him the same line, and you see how there's repercussions for that.
Yeah. For the
Just it
choices
kind of
you make.
teaches you a lesson a little bit. And he doesn't find that out because he follows that robber to go get revenge for Uncle Ben. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And then he finds out, hey, this is that guy that I let go.
Yeah.
I just love that whole thing, that whole teaching moment type deal.
Yeah.
There was a good teaching moment there, and how he felt about it. And then when he found him, he's like, oh my God, this happened because of me. And he felt so guilty. And you never know what decisions, always comes a repercussion, or always follows something when you make your decisions. That's what it was teaching you. I love the whole, that was my favorite part. Just loving how they put everything into perspective in there, and the whole Uncle Ben death scene and
Hmm.
everything. I thought that was pretty good, because I didn't follow. I'm not a comic book guy. I
Yeah.
didn't follow Spider-Man. Didn't know how you know Uncle Ben lost his life, and
Yeah.
everything. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was beautifully told, and yeah, I really like that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because those words, it's like one of the most memorable things when
Yes.
you think about Spider-Man.
Oh
With
yeah.
with great power comes great responsibility. I mean, it even rung out into the latest Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
with Aunt
Definitely.
May saying it to the new Spider-Man. So yeah, that line alone, yeah, yeah, I get what you mean. It told a great or showed a great lesson to Peter Parker. Just starting out, whenever he was just starting out to become Spider-Man.
Yeah. Definitely. So what did you think of the actual whole story, like the whole story of what was told? Did you like it? And did you like how they kind of set you up for another one,
Oh
knowing
yeah,
that it's going to be part two?
yeah. I thought the story was good. Like I said about Willem Dafoe, he did a fantastic job. Um, and then well, honestly, the way they set us up at the end, it isn't really like he's gonna keep becoming being Spider-Man and everything, but it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't give you really much hints into Doc Ock. Doc Ock, the The actor's not even in this movie.
Right.
They do leave you with Harry
With Harry,
being
yeah.
being vengeful towards Spider-Man. So they do leave
Yeah.
you with that. But I thought the story was good. I enjoyed it.
Good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think this doesn't, because everybody, when they think of the, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, they all automatically think about the part two.
Hmm.
And granted, it was good. It was really, really good. Everybody, they try to set their standards to X-Men Spider-Man 2 with Dr. Oct and how everything was good. And I think the first one gets overshadowed,
Yeah.
overlooked because of part two, because part two really was good. But for being a first shot, kind of like, I know there was Blade that came out from Marvel, and I know Batman was from DC, but Batman was just like, it wasn't like I know it was a comic book movie, but everybody just know it was like the dark, vengeful, vigilante type deal.
Yeah.
So, and I don't, with Blade, I ain't gonna lie. Blade, I didn't even know it was a comic book. To be honest with you, they didn't even know until the last 10 years, maybe. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
even lie. So I didn't even know. I just thought it was just a vampire slasher movie type deal, whatever. I didn't even know it was a Marvel movie. But this,
Hmm.
even though it was an MCU movie, this really kind of started like, hey, you can build something, and now look at it now with the whole comic book
Hmm.
regime.
Yeah.
All the DCs, all the Marvel stuff coming out.
Like it's blown up. It's
It's blown up.
crazy.
Like everybody's in now. It's the cool thing now
Yeah.
to go see these movies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Back then it
feel
wasn't.
I feel like this one, and I know X-Men, the original X-Men came
Right.
out 2 years prior to this.
2000.
Yeah, 2000. So I
Hmm.
feel like these two movies really gave it like a jump
Gave it up.
start into what it is today. Because man, you got movies, you got TV shows. It's just expanded so much,
Right,
and
exactly.
these were the roots right here. I feel like with these two. But
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
same thing with Blade. Blade, I love the Blade movies. Maybe not so much
Even
Trinity.
three.
Yeah, maybe not so much Trinity.
Ooh.
But the other Blades, the Blade 1 and 2,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed, and I didn't even know they were a comic
I
book
know
thing.
it was a comic book
I
character.
just knew Wesley Snipes was badass, and it was just I love those movies. But yeah,
Right, right.
I wouldn't think of them as comic book movies. That's why I always think about X-Men and this one as being like the roots to
The
what's
roots,
today.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, what did you think? Does it still hold up to today? This movie, the 2002 Spider-Man, does it
Uh,
hold up?
I thought you were asking the fans. I'm gonna cut this
Oh
off.
no, it's okay.
Yeah, I feel like it does hold up. Like I said, Willem Dafoe. I keep bringing up Willem Dafoe, but I can't
But
get
he did
over
a
his performance.
terrific job on it.
I can't forget his performance, and I know people love Spider-Man too. Doc Ock was amazing. What
Hmm.
another great villain. But like I said, to start off a franchise, the very first movie with Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin. I mean, I couldn't imagine a better start.
Yeah,
So
much to a surprise too.
it
I ain't gonna
holds,
lie.
yeah, it holds up definitely still for me. Maybe not so much like the acting from others, but as a iconic um movie, as iconic it was for at least for me, whenever it first came out, it was like I said, it was like Avatar. It was a must watch. Everyone had to see it.
Right.
And even whenever it came out on DVD, everyone had everyone bought it. I feel like, it was like a must. So it definitely still holds up for me, especially
Yeah.
after like rewatching
I totally agree with you across the board about it,
it.
especially about Willem Dafoe. And yeah, you know what? It holds up today. And I still think, I think it gets overshadowed by the second one.
Yeah.
And we both agree this was a great stepping stone, to build the comic book lore that we have now for movies wise, with the
Yeah.
MCU and the DC now. I think this was a staple. This, and like you said, X-Men were both staples for what's going on right now. Everybody's so interested into these comic book movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you out there? What do you guys think? Do you think this still holds up today? Have you watched it recently, like me and Rich? Did you love Willem Dafoe as much as we did? or
And
did
do
you
you,
like, or did you
and
like,
and do you feel old as shit knowing that it's 20 years old?
20 years old? Yeah, old. Yes, old.
Old.
And I was, yeah, I was a young man when this came out. That made me feel even older. But anyways, leave your comments and questions down below. Hope you like this review. We'll do some more extremely late reviews. Please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. We truly appreciate it. For me and Rich, we out of here.